satellite network.
There's no more exciting format in golf than match play, man against man. And here at the spanking new Seapoint Golf Club in County Louth, we've come to the Irish International Match Play Championship. It's hard to believe that a mere 7 years ago these were carrot fields. Now Seapoint is maturing into one of the finest courses in the Emerald Isle, just an hour along the coastal road from Dublin. 16 players will contest the championship, and they've been split into 4 groups, with a seed based on placings in the European Order of Merit in each group. It's a round-robin tournament. Match winners get 2 points, and it's a point apiece for a half match. And group winners go on to semi-finals with an 18-hole final on Sunday afternoon. Let's meet the players.
From Australia, Wayne Riley.
Winner of the Scottish Open this year.
On the tee from Wolverhampton, Peter Baker.
A Ryder Cup hero 2 years ago.
From Warwickshire in England, Paul Broadhurst.
Another Ryder Cup winner.
From England on the tee, Peter Mitchell. From England, Jamie Spence. From Banbridge, Raymond Burns.
A young prospect from just up the road.
From Dalgony, Eamon Darcy.
Over 20 years on the tour.
From Dublin, Paul McGinley. From Drogheda, Des Smyth.
The man who designed the course.
From Malahide, Philip Walton.
The biggest hero of this golfing year.
From Dungannon, Daren Clarke. On the tee from New Zealand, Greg Turner. From Scotland, Andrew Coulthard. From Sweden, Matthias Kronberg.
An outstanding first year on the European Tour.
On the tee from Sweden, Jarmo Sandlin.
A winner in his first season on the tour.
From Singapore and the USA, Peter Teravainen.
Links golf is always a test. This is the card of the course. A course that was only built in 1990 and opened in 1993. Water comes into play on 6 of the first 9 holes here. And the last 3, 16, 17 and 18, stretch along the coast of the Irish Sea. Downwind, hope the players. Well, nobody knows the course better than the designer Des Smyth. He spoke with David Brooks.
Des, along with Declan Brannigan, you design the course here at Seapoint. All your fellow professionals have raved about it this week. You must be delighted.
Yeah, we're very pleased. I mean, to have a tournament as big as this on a course this young, it's only 2 years old, and the players are very pleased with it. Yeah, it's very satisfying, I have to say. I wasn't convinced that it was ready for such a big event, but the green staff have worked very hard, and they've got the course in great shape.
Well, this is how the draw came out. Riley against Coulthard. Matthias Kronberg will meet one of those Irishmen, Paul McGinley, in Group A. In Group B, it's Philip Walton and Peter Mitchell together. Peter Teravainen meets another Irishman, Raymond Burns. In Group C, Daren Clarke is up against Jamie Spence, and New Zealand's Greg Turner meets that veteran Irishman, Eamon Darcy. Des Smyth himself plays Jarmo Sandlin, and Paul Broadhurst against Peter Baker. That's in Group D. And it is with Peter Baker that we start our coverage on the 5th.
Yes, and Baker in a spot of trouble. 3 down in the bunker on the
par 3. And, well, when you're down that far, it needs something a little bit better than that if he's going to get back into this match.
Well, he's got such a wonderful temperament, hasn't he? As most of these players have. Anybody who's played in Ryder Cup has to have good temperament.
Certainly, and playing against him, Broadhurst in the bunker the other side, and that was a very delicate touch. Not a lot of room to work with, and played it extremely well. So now Baker, this he must think is for a half, with Broadhurst so close, only from 8 feet, but will dive away to the left as it gets towards the hole, but not hard enough. So this to go 4 up for Broadhurst, and in a very commanding position after only just 5 holes. And no trouble there, and they certainly get easier once you've got putts like that to win a hole, and you're already 3 up.
He's had a bit of a resurgence this year, Paul Broadhurst. Now, this is a young player that many pundits are tipping for the very top of the game, Daren Clarke.
Yes, from Mount Juliet, home of the Irish Open recently. And long putt up this green, and beautifully holed too by Clarke. Almost embarrassed. No need to be. 2 up after 9 holes. That'll give something for the locals to cheer about.
Very engaging personality. Now, Paul McGinley came very close to winning in Austria this year, just pipped at the post by Alexander Chaker. What a delicate pitch and run.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't have played that better, could you? Talk about luck of the Irish, but that's more than luck.
Yes, flagstick against him, and the ball still able to find the bottom of the hole. So McGinley 4 up. An Australian that's done very well this year, Wayne Riley, against a Scots player who's also making a name for himself, Andrew Coulthard. And confidently holed by Coulthard. Did so well in the Dunhill Cup last year. And the match between him and Riley finishing all square.
Our first look at Peter Teravainen, winner of the Chemopol Open in Czechoslovakia this year. Always had problems with his shoulders, with his knees, but his wife Veronica has turned into a bit of a physiotherapist and a guru, and she's really helped him along the way this year. And he's had his most consistent season.
Yes, waited a long time for that first win, and obviously delighted by it. Now adopting the long handle putter, and to a good effect as well. And that changes that situation. He goes from 1 up to 2 up after 15 holes, so the Terra on good form.
Let's have a quick resume of the way things are going. Riley and Coulthard all square. Paul McGinley beat Matthias Gromberg 3-2. Peter Mitchell defeated Philip Walton, a surprise maybe, 2-1. And Teravainen went on to beat Raymond Burns 1 up. Here is Baker then on the par 3 15th.
146 metres. And just a medium iron, but Baker finding trouble down that right-hand side, went straight at the flag, just left it in that hollow. And here's one they don't teach you in the textbooks. Taking the putter, obviously very little room to work with, didn't want to pitch it onto the downslope. Oh my word. Well, how about that for some touch?
Well, he's got to do something dramatic at 2 down. Try and be adventurous.
Certainly not afraid to win. Baker loves match play situations. And here, birdie putt for Broadhurst to increase his lead.
Excellent. Well done.
And obviously Broadhurst finding the greens here at
Good game,
Seapoint
Stanley.
to his liking.
Good game.
And that was good enough to see off Peter Baker 3-2.
Play, Brody.
Well played, Brody, indeed. Congratulations from his caddy. And now we look at Jarmo Sandelin.
Yes, man, always, I think, looks a bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger with the dark glasses and a 53-inch driver, which he wields with great ease. And anyone's tried to wield a driver that long, I tell you what, you've got to be fairly strong to stay on your feet.
Takes some doing to win on your debut season, as he did in the Canaries this year. This man has been winning for many, many years. And who'd bet against him on his own course, so to speak?
Yes, Smith winning against Sanderlin, 2-1, and a very tough man is Des Smyth in match play.
So it's building up nicely. The crowd's appreciating the quality of the golf. And Daren Clarke beat Jamie Spence 1-up, whereas the Turner-Darcy match was all square. Victory for Paul Broadhurst over Peter Baker by 3-2. And Des Smyth triumphant against Sanderlin 2-1. So Group A is topped by Paul McGinley, 2 points for him. Peter Mitchell and Peter Teravainen both with 2 points in Group B, but Philip Walton without a point, rather surprisingly. Daren Clarke tops Group C ahead of Greg Turner and Eamon Darcy. And in Group D, it's Paul Broadhurst and Des Smyth, Peter Baker and Jarmo Sanderlin yet to register. But it's all building up very nicely here. It really is catching on, this Irish International Match Play Championship.
They might be giants. They may have ex-Spurs-starred Klinsmann, but to Rafe Rover's Bayern Munich are just another big club waiting to be embarrassed. Don't miss this classic David and Goliath confrontation in the second round of the UEFA Cup, exclusively live tomorrow on Sky Sports.
I've had the privilege.
I've had the privilege.
I've had the privilege! Yes!
Have you had the privilege yet?
Legendary Harley-Davidson, scent of a man.
Wild thing, I love you. But I wanna know.
Legendary Harley-Davidson, scent of a man.
Come on and hold me tight.
Legendary Harley-Davidson, eau de toilette aftershave and body spray, the scent of freedom.
I need some help to see me through. I need some help to see me through. I need some help to see me through. I need some help to see me through.
At Mercedes-Benz, we often find new ideas by looking at our cars from a different point of view. It's how we invented rain-sensitive windscreen wipers, created our most aerodynamic body to date, developed the first safety belt to work specifically with an airbag, designed wheels that can work independently of each other, and made our most efficient catalytic converter ever, the new Mercedes E-Class. Engineering seen with fresh eyes.
If you're paying over £400 for motor insurance, it's time you had the privilege.
You could save £150 or more.
On cover that comes with a host of benefits.
Free courtesy car, 24-hour accident recovery, guaranteed repairs.
Isn't it time you had the privilege?
Welcome back to the Seapoint Golf Club here in Termonfeckin in County Louth. It's rather blustery today, a little overcast, and it's going to be a test of stamina, I imagine, for the players. 36 holes to contest today. Let's have a look at the pairings then. In Group D, it's Baker against Smith and Broadhurst up against Sanderlin. Group C, we'll see Spence take on Darcy, and it's Clarke against Turner. A couple of the big hitters. Mitchell plays Burns in Group B. Walton up against Teravainen. And finally in Group A, Coulthard meets McGinley, and it's Riley against Grunberg. So survival of the fittest in some ways today. Always testing conditions in links golf, and ever more so on days like this. We're moving out to the 18th green. Peter Baker all square.
And having a very close tussle with Des Smyth. Smith on the green with an eagle attempt. And that should give Baker a birdie, if we're being generous. Now what can Des do? Broom handle putter. All the local support he can muster behind him. Oh my word. And you don't get a lot closer than that, so putt conceded by Baker, so this one for the half. And that's a sad way to finish for Peter Baker, so 2 losses on the trot for him and 2 good wins for Des Smyth.
It obviously helps to know your way around. A lot of support for Des Smyth, as there will be for Eamon Darcy. What a popular competitor he's been over the last 20-odd years. He won't mind me saying that.
And this, the short 17th, down the breeze, coming back on the back 9. And well, Darcy getting that to stop pretty quickly, just pitching it onto that front hollow, just short of the flag. This for his 2. Well, maybe putting into the breeze held it up a bit. Maybe he's just not firm enough.
So Peter Mitchell can close out Raymond Burns here on the 16th green. Inspirational player, I always think, Mitchell, and he's found the inspiration today, all right, and he'll shake hands with Raymond Burns. Mitchell wins 4 and 2.
And a local hero, Irish hero, Philip Walton, having a bit of a tussle against Peter Teravainen. And, well, another one that's just come up a fraction short. Maybe not the same pace as some of the greens that he's been used to. So the match there with Teravainen ends in all square. And an opportunity missed there by Walton.
You can win the Ryder Cup, but not necessarily the Irish match play. Walton appearing in match play, of course, for the first time since that celebrated occasion in Rochester.
And that's the tee shot of Paul McGinley on the 9th in the match with Andrew Coulthart. And Coulthart 2 down. Couple of 100 yards, this 185 metres. And it's hard to win holes if you don't pop it on the green. Another unforced error there by the Scotsman.
Should like this format, of course. I mean, as an amateur, he played in Eisenhower Trophy, Walker Cup matches, and it does count for quite a lot having experience of this format.
Yes, and really carried the Scottish team in the Dunhill Trophy last year, which is very much a match play battle. But, well, just not finding his touch here in Ireland this week so far.
Glorious scenes out here near Dublin, of course. They do love their golf in this part of the world. And this is going to be one heck of a golf course in years to come when it's matured a little more. Talk already of this championship returning next year. Well, I think that was good enough to be conceded, but doesn't look too happy, does he, McGinley? So Coulthart gave himself too much to do, maybe. Yeah, it's followed up that little flop of a shot onto the green. The putt was a difficult one for him, and rather disconsolate Andrew Coulthart goes away onto the 10th.
Wayne Riley won up on the 17th against Matthias Gromberg. Riley having one heck of a season. Like Teravainen had a long time to wait before he got his first win. Had 12 years. Teravainen was 14. And, now 10th on the money list. £237,000 to his name. And this putt here to close out Gromberg. And no trouble at all for the Australian. Lots of confidence in his game this year.
He's a fierce competitor, Wayne Riley. This is the way things are going. In Group D, Des Smyth beat Peter Baker, 1 up, and Sanderlin beat Paul Broadhurst, 2 and 1. In Group C, Spencer and Darcy, 1 up. Turner beat Clarke, 3 and 1. Mitchell beat Burns, 4 and 2 in Group B, where Walton halved his game with Teravainen. And as we saw, McGinley beat Coulthard 5-3. Riley successful 2-1 against the Swede Grönberg. So it's McGinley now leading in Group A. That'll go down well locally, just ahead of Riley. Peter Mitchell tops Group B with Teravainen closest to him. Greg Turner is the man at the head of Group C, ahead of the Irishman Daren Clarke. Very close group, that one. And Des Smyth out on top of Group D, ahead of Paul Broadhurst and Jarmo Sandelin. So now into the afternoon matches. Sandelin taking on Baker here. It's Broadhurst against Smith. That promises to be quite a tussle. Turner versus Spence and Clarke against Darcy. The match is in Group C. In Group B, Teravainen will play Mitchell, and Philip Walton still looking for that inspiration against Burns. Grönberg and Coulthard together. Riley meets McGinley in Group A. Conditions as stiff as they were in the morning. And McGinley 2 up already as we move out onto the 7th.
Yes, one of the longer par 4s on the course, and how about that for judgment? Well, that'll warm everybody up here in Dublin.
We need warming up as well, don't we? The wind whipping up. Des Smyth knows these conditions better than anybody. He learnt his golf just along the road. And doesn't he know it? Wonderful stuff. That's the way to win a game, isn't it? Smith topples Broadhurst. And isn't he delighted? Well, that all comes from knowing your way around the place. No wonder he designed it for himself.
Yes, the one area that Des has not been doing too well of late, and that's putting. And to save that up on the last hole, well, you can't ask for more than that.
They'll be cheering just over the way at Baltray, where Des was brought up. Now, Teravainen's been going well, and this is to close out Peter Mitchell, and I think he's done it successfully. That's a superbly judged shot from that position. Couldn't have played it better, and Teravainen goes through against Peter Mitchell for certain now. Yeah, well played. He said it all. It's a good sporting contest, and now Paul McGinley in a similar situation. It'll come around and around. Has it got the distance? I'm not sure it has, but he's in a great position here against Wayne Riley.
And broom handle putters popular in this event. Is it going to be good enough for Riley to say in the match it isn't? So 3-2 victory there for Paul McGinley.
What a day for the Irish. Smith and McGinley, both winners. And that's warming the crowd very much so. Group A, Coulthard beat Grönberg convincingly 6-5. There's McGinley's victory over Riley by 3-2. In Group B, confirmation of Teravainen's success against Mitchell. Raymond Burns, another Irish winner, but this time against his fellow Irishman Walton by 2-1. Spence, 3-2 up on Greg Turner, and Eamon Darcy defeating Daren Clarke by 1 hole. Peter Baker was successful today against Sandelin by 2-1, and there is Des Smith's victory against Paul Broadhurst. So it's McGinley now on top of the Group A standings. 6 points for him. Coulthard and Riley the closest to him. In Group B, Teravainen was the man to come through, ahead of Peter Mitchell and Philip Walton. Raymond Burns without a point. Rather disappointing for the young Irishman. In Group C, Jamie Spence, perhaps a surprising winner there. No place in the semi-finals for Eamon Darcy or Daren Clarke. And in Group D, well, it had to be, didn't it? Des Smyth, convincingly in that group ahead of Broadhurst, Baker and Sandelin. And from the quality of golf we've seen, I would say there's no doubt about it, Seapoint is moving up the pecking order of the Irish courses.
There's a lot of great courses in Ireland. Did any of those influence your thoughts at all in the design?
Well, not really. Probably there's one hole out there that resembles the 15th in Portmarnock, and it's only because it's along the seashore, but not really. It was a flat site, and you just had to use your imagination and go along with how you felt it. You know, we're pleased the way it's turned out.
Of course, Baltray borders this course as well, and that's another great course, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but Baltray is very different to this because it was on a very large dune system. Here, the ground was quite flat, so whatever you see, we put there, you know. Whereas some of the old great golf courses in Ireland, the links, they've almost been moulded over a long period. Now, most of the great courses are over 100 years old, so this is only 98 or 9 years to go before it's up there, but it's turned out great. We're really pleased.
One of the great golfing areas in Ireland is Kerry. Tell me about some of the courses there.
Yeah, Kerry is a superb area, right down the very bottom southwest of Ireland. There's some fantastic courses down there. You can go to Killarney, which is a golf and fishing club, more American style, inland type of place, very scenic, beautiful. And then you get somewhere like Ballybunion, which Tom Watson is always raving about, which has got it's a fantastic true old style links course. Then you got courses like Tralee as well, which is another Arnold Palmer design course, which is another superb course down there. All in all, it's a great area to golf.
To get anything like this going, the first one's obviously always a tester. We have no idea how many people are going to come. We knew we'd have the support of the players, because the players don't play any match play. There's a select few playing the Toyota, and it gives them a chance to play match play. They like coming to Ireland. The hospitality, and as you know, the brown stuff's pretty good. And so we were always going to be fine getting a decent field. We had Sam Tarrant's lined up, and then he got invited to the big one. Well, that was a shame, because that would have just added a little bit more stature to it. But the top 12 in the money list played, and it went down to 33. So we've done pretty well. We've got enough Irish in it to make it interesting. There's 8 nations represented, so yeah, it's a good start. It's a good international field.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Introducing the all-new Nissan Almera. It has 6...
Nuts. Those lovely nuts.
Suit yourself, Froggy. I prefer the amber nectar.
Now I need a little help.
Oh, well, I'm the kind of light that likes to bend around. You can point me left or right, or hang me upside down, 'cause I'm the snake light.
The total flexible hands-free snake light, new from Black & Decker.
Yeah, well, the snake lights from Black & Decker.
So now, Bob Hendon and Jesse, the favourites in this final, seem set to win it from here. Oh, dear. Oh, no. Now, that's just time wasting. I'll be marked down for that as well. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Well, no doubt Bob will be back next year. Though perhaps without Jesse.
The leading magazine for men, GQ, reviewed organics. Their verdict? For strong, healthy-looking hair from the roots, organics delivers.
The new comedy from the director of Mrs. Doubtfire is coming. Ready or Not. Hugh Grant finds fatherhood inconceivable and unexpected.
That is why women have the babies, you see? Because men can't handle the power.
9 months.
If you'd rather spend your money on your car than your car insurance, give Eagle Star Direct a call on 0800 333 800, and we could help you drive down the cost of your insurance.
The new Nissan Almera. Style, power.
A tragic accident. A race against time.
This man has no time. I don't get him out now, he's dead.
When saving a life calls for drastic action.
What are you doing? You're not gonna cut off his leg.
Every second counts.
Was Kronk justified in using that saw?
The guy had minutes to live. It's precious.
I'm looking for a yes or no.
Medical drama in brand new episodes of Chicago Hope. Tuesday at 9 on Sky One Prime Time.
And welcome back to Seapoint and the Irish International Match Play. We've reached the semi-final stages here, and we're looking forward to 2 cracking matches. They certainly promise to be so. And the Irish very much to the fore. Paul McGinley takes on the American Peter Teravainen, and Jamie Spence from England will meet Des Smyth. We've made much of the fact that Des Smyth designed this golf course here. We'll be seeing him in a moment, but let's first of all go out to the 12th and to Paul McGinley, going well, 3 up.
Yes, and digging it out of that bunker, obviously not in the best of lies, but playing a very fine shot. Sure, he would have liked it to have finished a little bit below the hole. But Teravainen, well, he's really up against it, 3 down, really needs to get going. And, well, with putts like that, he won't get going. Tricky one down the slope, needs to judge it right. Oh my word, well, you would have thought it would have come off that slope on the high side. So he's opened the door a little bit for Teravainen.
Yes, McGinley's been close to being a winner on the European Tour a couple of times. He lost a playoff in Paris once to Costatina Roca. Also finished second in Lyon a couple of years ago. He's still waiting for that big breakthrough. Teravainen is a winner this year. Ooh, it trickled in, really.
But they all count, and he gets 1 back. That's an important win for him. But on the 13th, Smith with a longish iron just from the light semi-rough. And he will like these conditions. They really suit his type of game. But looks to have got a flyer just from that little bit of semi-rough there. And he knows it.
No, sir. No, sir.
Not coming off the club face just as he would like.
Honest with himself anyway. No sir, no sir. Now then, Jamie Spence, who well, he walked off more courses than he played last year, suffered from ill health a great deal. Looking to get his game back on track, really. Yes, just finds the putting surface, that's okay. Nicely judged, good distance. So that will encourage him. It's never easy playing the home man.
And in fact, Smith gone through the green into the bunker. Oh, well, I think he tried to really get underneath that. He's caught it thin. That's a real Sunday morning shot. Didn't get the club face behind the ball at all, so looks as if Des will lose this one.
You can really gauge the strength of the wind whipping up. You will hear it through our sound effects microphones. Just look at the flag as well. He's usually a good judge from this sort of distance, is Smith. A little shy of that.
Yes, I'm sure he'll make Spence putt. Hard for Spence now to concentrate, just needs to roll this somewhere close. And that should do just nicely. So match now all square after 13. And looks like another good tussle there for Smith.
Some lovely holes here, obviously. But this, it's not quite brand new course, of course, 3 years old. 350 members. They're aiming to have 600 here eventually. Very popular game in Ireland. Give him a tricky little approach there. Plenty of green to play with McGinley.
Yes, and he won't be happy with it because Teravainen's ball's up the face of the bunker, so he had the opportunity to put it on the green and put the pressure on him. And Teravainen, all he could do was get it to there, so this is his 3rd shot. And is Teravainen going to make some sort of comeback? That's what match play golf is all about. If you give the man a slight chance, he gets his confidence going, well, you better watch out. So good chip and run required by the Irishman. And it's not forthcoming.
Well, it scuttled through that one, didn't it? Got a bit of a flyer there. Didn't really have control of it at all, that shot. Still, I suppose the spectators here all know they couldn't do much better. And McGinley, a fierce competitor. Left 18 inches short. It'll be a gimme. Teravainen's still very much alive in this match. So we move on. See McGinley. Par3 here. All the trouble on the right. And you'll tell from the applause, they like that. And McGinley should like it too. 25, 30 feet maybe.
And Teravainen already played but missed the green well to the left-hand side. Really cutting across that ball there. And Well, you heard him urging it to go in, but that's slightly wide of the hole. So a chance for McGinley to put the pressure back on the American player. So many players today, John, leaving them short, not quite getting the pace. I'm sure that's more to do with wind and some of the rain that they had early part of this event. Difficult for them to judge. Normally on the tour, all these players quite aggressive.
Yes, you mentioned the rain. Apparently they're still drying out from the Pro-Am day here. Teravainen needed that, really. He's got to win holes now. He's at that stage.
Yes, really needed that to a bit of a head-in off McGinley's marker. Rolled it over, but didn't really get the bounce he wanted. So this to go back to 2 up. And, well, that'll bring a smile back to his face, and he looks in command of this game. And he's having another tight tussle today. Des Smyth against Spence, 16th hole, second shot. Hole playing downwind, 330 metres, and it's only a short pitch. You can see where Spence's ball has finished, and Smith not managed to get inside him. So certainly under the cosh. Can he get out of trouble with a good putt? Oh, he can! Marvellous recovery there for Smith. And he knows how important it is to get in first, make the other man putt at this stage of the match. What can Spence do as a reply? We've gone to school on the line a little bit. Oh, my word. Well, he hit it on the right side and it seemed to die at the death. But, Spence now, with that short putt missed, is now 1 down.
I was going to say he's in a spot of bother. Not as much as this man McGinley, though he's 2 up. Dormy. Just about as good as he could do from there. Squirted it out. That's good control with the club head. Finding the putting surface anywhere on there would do. From there.
I think, John, that was a little bit of hit and hope, and he's actually very fortunate with the result. Very hard to know how it's going to come out. Can he turn it to good fortune? Well, not quite, so McGinley loses another one, and they walk towards the 18th.
It's amazing to think this man, Des Smyth, first won on the European Tour back in 1979, the Matchplay Championship. He's won 7 events in Europe, says he wants to win 10 before he goes on to the Seniors Tour, and still plays a pretty nifty game, doesn't he?
He does, and he plays in very many money matches at the local course, Beltray, and you wouldn't want to bet against him around these courses. But that really typifies Des's game this year. Shorter putts giving him trouble. Now, what can McGinley do on 18? Second shot. Flattest swing. Ball right on line. And that will steady his nerves. Puts the pressure on Teravainen. He must know now. This needs to go in the hole. Had some trouble off the tee. So really all McGinley needs to do is roll this down to the hole, and he'll be in the final. So missed it a little bit on the low side. Teravainen, well, asking him to putt, but I can't believe it'll be necessary. No, and I think he knew it. So McGinley wins 2 up, and the Irishman through to the final.
And the only question now is, will it be an all-Irish final? Des Smyth hopes so. This match going right to the wire. Critical shot for Smith. So wants to be a winner in front of his home people. Go left, they say. And they like it. Always nice to walk striding down to the green, knowing the ball is up there safely. All the pressure now thrust back onto the shoulders of Spence.
Little chip and run from the front of the green. And where some of the players have been shy with the putts, Spence not shy with the little chip. And I'm sure Des is thinking, well, try and hole it, but won't leave yourself too much to do. Just brought the putt ahead across the line, cozying it towards the hole. And I'm sure that putt will be conceded.
Birdie for Smith. This has to go in then for Spence to stay in the match and take it to an extra hole. Oh, that is unlucky. That is desperately unlucky. And the applause is for Smith. I think he almost felt for Jamie Spence there. But Des Smyth goes through. It's an all-Irish final here. Des Smyth will play Paul McGinley, and hasn't that gone down well? So let's just confirm then the way things went in the semi-finals. With Smith and McGinley triumphant. McGinley beating Peter Teravainen 2-up, and Des Smyth triumphant against Jamie Spence. So, over 18 holes, the final will be contested here at Seapoint between Smith and McGinley in the Irish International Matchplay.
Ian Woosnam is back for more. So are Sam Torrance and Philip Walton. After the Ryder Cup, the Alfred Dunhill Cup gives the world's top golfers another chance to savour team golf. As the European team divide up to join their countrymen, golf's major winners will fly the flag. But Canada has proved that world ranking isn't everything.
We're not the best players in the world, but we beat some of the best.
The Alfred Dunhill Cup, live from St Andrews, starts Thursday, 10 a.m, Sky Sports.
Following an unfortunate accident, this test driver feared he would be out of work for months. Until he was asked to come and work for Saab. He was chosen specifically to test a revolutionary concept in motoring, the Saab Sensonic gearbox. All the driving performance of a manual gear change. But incredibly, no clutch. Saab, beyond the conventional.
Contact. Go.
Let's go!
Are you telling me that nearly 25,000 women die each year? Not just from breast cancer, but from ovarian and cervical. We've got to do something. We've got to.
It takes obviously a lot of guts to ring about.
Support UK Living's Women's Cancer Challenge. You can't help getting involved.
Hey, you, where are you bound? Keep our love forever fresh, forever young, forever.
Old Spice, forever fresh, forever young.
Welcome back to Seapoint. It's final day in the Irish International Matchplay Championship, and testing conditions yet again. Smith against McGinley.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a welcome to the beautiful Seapoint Golf Club for the Glen Dimplex Irish International Matchplay Championship. We have for the final now, on the tee from Drogheda, Des Smyth.
And the first hole, a slight dogleg to the left, the bunkers down the right, and Des looks to have coaxed that down the right-hand side with his normal left-to-right shot. It's not too bad, but just found the right-hand semi.
On the tee From Dublin and playing out at the Latrolles Towncastle Golf Club, Paul McGinley.
And a much flatter swing there from McGinley, contrasting games today. I'm sure he's gone for the draw down that left-hand side. Actually overdid it a little bit, but just pitched in that light semi-rough and back onto the fairway.
Very much split loyalties in that match. The one man from Drogheda, the other from Dublin. This man from the United States of America, Peter Teravainen, in the third-fourth playoff match against Jamie Spence, and things going very nicely too. He's a Yankee Doodle dandy boy, and Peter Teravainen 2 up.
Well, a man that's got the putter working well, Teravainen, but can McGinley get it on a roll? This putt up the slope, and it bobbled a little bit just after impact, and it never really keeps its line when you do that. But Smith concedes the putt, and you from a similar position just down the bottom of that plateau. And both players missing on the low side, and fairly friendly give, and they move to the second.
Yeah, it didn't hit on the right.
Much discussion between player and caddy, but nobody knows these sort of conditions better. Always been known as a good wind player, Smith, because of that upbringing of his. Baltray. McGinley now, as we rejoin the match, is 1 down. We've gone on to the 5th.
There's the hole that plays towards the sea. 182 metres, and oh my word. Well, wouldn't have taken much more. I'll have to actually go in the hole. That's right on line.
Got to be well wrapped up on days like this, but the golf itself promises to be absorbing. Little tiddler here, no mistake. Always nice to see one of those in, isn't it? And so we're back all square again as the players head off for the 6th tee. And in fact, that seemed to trigger a bit of a roll for McGinley. He won the 6th as well. So now, as we rejoin the match, it's Des Smyth who finds himself 1 behind on the 7th.
Yeah, it's 400 metres, more or less, 440 yards. Long par 4. And that a fine shot by Des. He doesn't mind playing in a left to right wind as a left to right player.
Good crowd here today. The biggest we've had, as you would expect, for the final. And McGinley with this for his birdie. Give himself a chance of going 2 up if Smith were to miss, but that's going to be a gimme, I'm sure. So it still allows Des Smith the opportunity to win the hole, if he can hold this one. Oh, that's beauty, absolute beauty.
So match all square as they come to another par 3, the 9th. Along the par 3, a couple of 100 yards, and a good crack with a medium long iron. Another fine shot by McGinley, where we nearly made a 1 on the 5th, and they're, well, going closer still on the 9th.
That could have been very, very expensive in the clubhouse, I would have thought.
Yeah, Smith is the hole-in-one expert. He's had 4 in his career, won a couple of cars with them as well. Always nice when you do get a hole-in-one that there's a fairly large prize to go with it. Well, that was good enough for McGinley to win the 9th. Des couldn't chip in. And now on the 10th. And a short approach shot. A little bump and run with the wedge, keeping it down, making it scoot up the green. And that's pretty good control. Player's not able to reach this par 5 in 2. And Des may have thought, just coming out of that 7 rough, that the ball would just fly in him a little bit stronger, and he's just left it below the slope. He's really got his work cut out. Standing quite open with this broom handle putter. Oh, wow, Or maybe you need to stand a little bit more open. So many players can address the ball quite square. Make it easier to putt. But McGinley will surely have gone to school on Des's putt, will know the break. And knows it perfectly.
Two up. And it's a matter of national pride to win in front of your home supporters. Des Smyth's wife, Vicky, out here with the family.
Well, not only that, they always want to be top dog, and with Philip Walton at the moment as the #1 Irish player, I'm sure these players, well, if they can win this week, will just be nudging Walton and saying, well, watch out, Philip. You never know, I'm catching you up. What can McGinley do now after that fine approach shot from Des? Oh, he's got it hole high. Smith in the driving seat.
Yes, I know which putt I'd prefer there. And there have been some great Irish players over the years, haven't there? When you go back to Fred Daly, Christy O'Connor, both senior and junior, of course. And it's in. It's found its way home. Doesn't matter how they get there, so long as they get there. Only one in it now. It's going to go all the way, I think.
And Des has been all the way 4 times this week to the 18th hole. Each time he's managed to scrape through. McGinley urging the wind to leave it alone. And just dragged it away a little bit on the left-hand side, but safely on the green.
It's amazing how many matches have gone to the 18th this week. Just about 1 in 2, half the games gone that far. Just shows the quality of the field. Top players here from Australia, Sweden, United States, England, and Ireland, obviously. So which of them will prevail today? This is Smith's shot. They like it. That's another cracking effort.
Yes, and the crowd's really appreciating this tussle. McGinley goes, tries to make his birdie. Used to the pressure. 3 top 5 finishes so far this year. 3rd in Andalusia, 4th in Portugal, 5th in the Hobbrooker Opens. So having a fine season. And Des, on the other hand, well, he's only had 1 top 10. Once again confers with the caddy. And that top 10 he had in the Tour España Masters in Andalusia. So he would dearly love to win this, but needs to hold these. No trouble, and he's getting more confident with that putter as the round goes on. Right in the centre of the centre.
We really needed that. It set us up nicely. Meanwhile, in the battle for 3rd place, Teravainen very much in the driving seat. And if this one goes in, as it does, he can shake hands. So well done to Peter Teravainen, who continues his good seam this year. He's beaten Jamie Spence 4 and 3. Back to the final. Perfectly poised.
And the spectators taking full advantage of the sand dunes to get a good view. This exciting match as Smith plays to the 15th. Needs to keep it up on the right-hand side. Doesn't want to let it go in the gully down away on the left. And once again, another fine shot at these short holes. Speared it right at the flag.
And they've got an excellent view from there, haven't they? And if Smith can just pop this one in. Yes, he does. He's on a roll now. The match just gets better and better. So, Des Smith 1 up after 17 as we've moved on to the 18th. And look at what has happened to him here. The dog doesn't look too interested in finding the ball. There it is. Our cameraman sniffed it out, I think.
Yes, and this is one of the holes that runs along the sea, and the one place you don't want to miss this fairway is away on the right-hand side. And, well, Des really carved his second there. His wife, Vicky, looking on anxiously. Son, Gregory. And, well, needs really good recovery shot here. And that is really something quite special. Really got good contact between the club and the ball there, able to pick his wrists up quite sharply and drop the club behind the ball. Now, McGinley needs to get this close. Let's put the pressure back on Smith. Oh, and that's beautifully judged. My word, that wouldn't have taken much more for that to go in the hole. Had it absolutely on the line.
Well, I wonder if we're in for a few bonus holes here. These two chaps going stride for stride.
Can you see it?
I see it about a ball on the left.
That's right. Yep. Yep. That's it. You got it on the line now.
It was nice to eavesdrop. Now, the thing is, can he take the advice?
Like I say, John, I'm sure he's really not listening to the caddy. If anyone knows the line, Des will know it round here. I'm sure it's just a way to settle the nerves. So this for the match.
Terrific, absolutely terrific. He designed the course, he's won on it. I don't think you can believe it. He was only invited as a guest to play in his first Irish Matchplay Championship, and would you believe it, Des Smyth walks away with the title. Paul McGinley has battled hard all the way, but he's had to give second best. A family celebration, Vicky and Shane coming up £40,000. Very well done, sir.
I won on the last, so I did. I'm absolutely very excited to have won this event. I was actually an invitee because I was a local and a designer, and a few other strings were pulled, I think. As regards the golf course, I've told everyone, whatever you do, don't miss it right of the 18th. So I didn't even learn myself, but I managed to get up and down.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the inaugural Glen Dimplex Irish International Matchplay Championship with a cheque of £40,000, the golf designer himself, from round the corner, Des Smyth.